So this is chapter 5, lesson 1. The first thing I want us to look at is we were doing a pattern of the day. So on your notebook paper, we're going to write the pattern of the day. All right, and I want you to copy this pattern. All right, I want you to look at that pattern, and I want you to determine the next 3 numbers in that pattern. Hold off 1 second, and I'm going to give other people a chance to look at it. Yes? Oh, wait, don't give me the answer yet. I give everybody a chance to look at it. I know, that's why I'm... You think you know, Cody? All right, hang on. All right, so now what's the next number in the pattern?
59.
Okay. Ray, after 59. Okay. Cody? You are correct. All right. What is my rule? Okay, that is true, but it's actually, I used a subtraction rule. But it does go 9, 4, 9, 4. What did I subtract between each? Yeah, each number I subtract 5. So that's my rule for this pattern, is that I subtract 5. But it does create that 9, 4, 9, 4, 9, 4 pattern, a pattern within the pattern, if you will. All right? Excellent. So let's review some of our vocabulary. What is a factor? Jaden, what is a factor? Okay, a factor is the numbers that I multiply to get to a product, right? So the numbers that I multiply. All right. Now, when we were factoring numbers, we used the rainbow, right? To help us. So let's say, and here we're going to make this number 1. So do number 1. We're going to call this factoring. All right, so number 1, I want to find all of the factors of 15. So what am I going to start with?
15.
Well, if I want to do the rainbow, what do I start with?
25.
I start with 1, and then what do I multiply by 1 to get 15? 1 times 15. All right, so there's my first pair. Now, will 2 times anything get to 15?
It will be 5 times 3 equal 15.
No, listen to the question. Does 2 times anything equal 15?
No.
No, so 2 is not a factor of 15. 3. Helena, what is 3 times what equals 15?
3 times 5 equals 15.
Okay. What about 4? No. So, what are the factors of 15? 1, 3, 5, and 15. How many factors does 15 have? 4. Is 15 prime or composite? It is composite. Sanaya, why is it composite? Because it has more than 2 factors. Because remember, composite numbers have more than 2 factors. Prime numbers only have 2 factors. So, it is composite. All right, let's do another one. So, you can come down a couple of lines. We'll do number 2. Number 2 will be 30. All right, what am I going to start with, Citavian? Well, I'm going to start with, what 2 factors will I start with? I always start with the same number. What do I start with? I always start with 1. I always start with 1, and in this case it's 30. Okay. Let's make sure we got our masks fixed. Above our nose, covering our mouths. All right. Will 2 times anything get me to 30?
No.
Does anybody remember our rules of divisibility? Oh, we are going to have a test on that. So everybody should have one of these. I may need to make some more copies. Listen, please. Okay, you have a test on this Thursday. So if you haven't studied it in a while, you have it. I will ask you later if you don't have it. And if you don't have it, I will get you a copy. So we'll do that. All right. Is 30 an odd number or an even number? Even number. So all even numbers have 2 as a factor. Did you know that? All even numbers have 2 as a factor. That's one of my rules. So 2 times what number, Jeremiah, will equal 30? 2 times 15. Good. All right. What about 3? Well, 3, Angel, 3 times what?
3 times 10.
Good. So 3 and 10. All right. What about 4? Nope. What about 5? 5 times 6. Okay. And when my numbers meet on the rainbow, that means I'm done, right? So, how many factors does 30 have?
8.
Has 8 factors. Is 30 prime or composite?
Composite.
All right. Yes. Okay. All right. Charlie, where do I start?
You start with the 1.
Okay, 1 times what?
1 times 45.
1 times 45. All right. Will 2 be a factor of 45? Okay, remember, if this last digit is even, then 2 is a factor. Is 5 even?
No.
No, it is not. Remember my even numbers, 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. So if it ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, then it's even, and it is divisible by 2. So 2 is a factor, but this is not. This is an odd number, so 2 is not a factor. What about 3? Does anybody remember my divisibility rule for 3? Remember, I add the digits together. 5 plus 4 is 9. And is 9 a multiple of 3? Do I multiply something times 3 to get to 9?
Yes.
Yes. So 45 is divisible by 3. So 3 is a factor of 45. So 3 times what is 45? What is it? 3 times 15, yep. All right, so I have 1 and 45, 3 and 15. What about 4? No. Now, 4 doesn't have a divisibility rule, but if I look at this, I know that 4 times 10 is 40, and I know that 4 times 11 is 44, so 45 is not going to be... All right. What about 5? What's my divisibility rule for 5?
5.
I look at the last digit, and if it ends in what?
45.
If the last digit is 5 or 0, then 5 is a factor. It is divisible by 5. So this ends with a 5,
5 times 9.
so 5 is a factor. So it's 5 times 9. All right, what about 6? No. What about 7? What about 8? No. Okay, and then we've met at 9. So how many factors does 45 have? 45 has 6 factors. What is it? Prime or composite?
Composite.
All right. Thank you. It doesn't do any good otherwise. All right. What do I always start with?
1.
I always start with the 1
And then 19.
and 19. All right. So now I need to go through my numbers. 2,
No.
3,
No.
4.
Yes.
4 times what? Nope. 5,
No.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Yep. No.
9, yes or no?
No.
No. All right. Well, and then there's really no, like 10 or higher would no. So, how many factors does 19 have? 2 factors. Is 19 prime or composite? This is a prime number because it only has 2 factors. it's composite. All right. That's okay, because we are, all right, I want you to take out your practice books. Might come in handy. What? All right, did you get it out this morning? Did you look on, is it at your desk? All right, we'll look for it in just a second. I'll look for it in just a second. All right. So you are going to start at number 5 on page 97 in your practice book. That's the little book. I know you don't have yours. I know. It's page 97 in your little math book. All right, you are going to do 5, 7, 9, 12. I want you to do 13 and 14. Right? If you don't have your math practice book, I'll leave this up here and I'll move down to so you can see 13 and 14. And you can do it on your paper. You're doing it right now. What I want you to do is I want you to find all the factors. I want you to use the rainbow method. So if you need to do it on your notebook paper, you can. Or you can do it here. And then I want you to tell me whether it's a prime or composite number. You're going to write all of the factors. But you're going to do the rainbow method like we were just doing. You're not going to do it this way. You're going to do it the way that you're going to do it like these. Okay, you're going to do it like this. So if you started doing it the other way, then you'll have to go back and do it the way that I told you to. But you're going to do it just like we did it. So you're going to use the rainbow. So if you want to do it on your notebook paper so that you'll have it all the same way, you can do that. But you're going to use these problems. So 5, 7, 9, 12, and then you'll do 13 and 14. Jocelyn, what number are you? Is it possible that you took it home? start with number 5. So write number 5 on here. All right, now write the 40 there. So that's the number you're working with. All right, what do you start with? 1 times 40, okay. All right, now what's next? 2, okay, 2 times what? 2. I'll be right there, Elena. So you're going to do 40, just like we did here. So you're going to do the factors, okay? So you do factors in 40. So 1. Well, hang on. With this Johnson's outside. Let her in. No, I did. Okay, did you do all the others? No, we got 2. You have a 2 here. 2 times something. Okay. All right, so Brooke has to set up 70 chairs in equal rows for the class fellowship. But there is not room for more than 20 rows. What are the possible number of rows? So this is asking, what are the factors of 70? So it's at first you have to figure out what the factors are of 70, and then it wants to know all the factors less than 20. So find all the factors of 70. All right, guys, so let's look at this. Do it. All right, so 40. Go ahead, Zanaya, tell me 40. 1 times 40. All right, and then 2 times 20. And 5 times 8. Did she miss any? She did not. Now, how many factors does 40 have? Has 6. Is it prime or composite? All right. Let's do 22. Anybody want to volunteer 22? Helena? 1 times 22. 2 times 11. Any others? All right. How many factors does 22 have?
4.
has 4. Is it prime or composite? Composite. All right, number 9. It's 26. What do I start with, Charlie? 1 times 26. Remember, I'm finding all the numbers that I can multiply together to get to 26. So 1 times 26. All right, what's another one? Is 2 one of them? I know that any time the number ends, if it's an even number, then 2 is a factor. Jeremiah? 2 times 13. All right, what about 3? Nope. What about 4? 5? 6? 7? 8? 9? 10? 11? 12? 12 times what? 12 times 2 is 24. And 12 times, right? And then 13. So, we found all the factors. Oh. All right. How many factors of 26 are there? 4. Is it prime or composite? All right. Look at number 12. All right, what do I always start with?
1 times 23.
Okay, I always start with 1 times 23. All right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are there any other factors? There are not. There are not. So how many factors does it have? 2, so it is prime. All right, let's look at number 13. Because I want you to recognize a factor problem. So, book has to set up 70 chairs in equal rows for the class talent show. But there's not room for more than 20 rows. What are the possible number of rows that Brooke could set up? So the first thing I need to do is I want to find out the factors of 70. Why do I want to find out the factors of 70? Because that would be rows, right? Equal rows. So, I always start with 1. So I have 1 and 70. All right, what about 2? This is an even number, isn't it? It ends in 0. It's an even number, so it is divisible by 2. So 2 times something will equal 70. Let me help you. It's 2 times 35. All right, what about 3? Nope, because if I add 7 plus 0, I get 7, and 3 times nothing equals 7. So it's not 3. What about 4? Nope, don't think so. No. 5? Yes, because remember 5, if it ends in a 0 or a 5, it's 5. So 5 times, it's not 5 times 7. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times what number equals 70?
14.
14? All right, what about 6? What about 7?
6 7 times 10.
7 times 10, because this is 70, and I know that 7 times 10 equals 70. 8? Here's a hint. 8 times 9 is 72. So neither 8 nor 9 is going to factor to 70. Okay. Now, it tells me that there's not room for more than 20 rows. So how many of these numbers are greater than 20? How many of these numbers, I've got all these numbers here, these are the factors of 70, so this is the possible number of rows that I could have. So which of these numbers is higher than 20? 35 and 70. So I can't have 35 rows and I can't have 70 rows. All right, but I could have 1, 2, 5, 7, 10, or 14. No, that's my answer. 1, 2, 5, 7, 10, and 14 is my answer. Because it's asking, what are the possible number of rows? So I could have 1 row, 2 rows, 5 rows, 7 rows, 10 rows, or 14 rows. All right, Jaslyn, are you paying attention? Elena, you with us? All right, look at number 14. Eduardo thinks of a number between 1 and 20 that has exactly 5 factors. What number is he thinking of? Now, most of the time, numbers have an even number of factors, don't they? Yeah? Right? Because factors come in pairs. When would a factor not come in pairs? If I multiply it by itself, right? So, for example, the number 4 has 3 factors because 1 times 4 and then 2 times 2. So I would list the factors as 1, 2, and 4. So, the number that Eduardo is thinking of is a number that I have to, it's a square is what we call it. When I multiply a number by itself, that's called a square. So let me think of the squares that would be between 1 and 20. All right. So I think about 1, well, 1 only has 1 factor. Then I have 2. 2 is not a square. 4 is a square, right? Because 2 times 2. How many factors does 4 have? Let's look. 4 has 1 and 4 and then 2 times 2. So 4 has 3 factors. So that's not my number. All right. What is 3 times 3? 9. How many factors does 9 have? How many? 3. What are they? They are 1, 3, and 9. 1 times 9 and 3 times 3. All right. What's 4 times 4?
4 times 4 is 16.
Okay, so let's check 16. Let's check the factors of 16. How many factors does 16 have? Well, it has 1 and 16.
2 and 8.
2 and 8. And then 4 times 4, right? How many factors does 16 have? 5 factors. So what is the number Eduardo is thinking of? 16.